Welcome to this topic video on HTTP proxies. This is going to be both theory and applications. Now, we've talked about this a little bit before, when we talked about HTTP, but we're going to hit it again, mostly about applications, where we're going to need to use them. So, we've seen the IEEE definition. An intermediary program which acts both as an HTTP server and an HTTP client for the purpose of making requests on behalf of clients. So here's a client, here's the server. In between the two, we can have a proxy or more than one proxy. Requests will first go through the proxy. It may process them, it may return them, or it may forward them onto the server. So why proxies? And there are two major types, but as you could guess, you can do all sorts of things with the same mechanism. A forward proxy is when we are facing the internet. It's used to retrieve the data from a wide range of sources. So generally, when you're on your computer, this is the most common type of proxy you would see, because this includes servers between you and the final server, which are proxy servers, that'll do things like caching popular content, whether it be a web page or a video, get cached on proxy servers, caching servers. This includes also the broad category of content delivery networks, because they act as proxies. Now, that's where most users encounter proxies. Unbeknownst to most users, well, both of these are unknown to most users, a reverse proxy is when your request is about to leave the internet and go into like a data center. So this is a proxy that doesn't face the internet, but receives stuff from the internet and then faces an internal network, to control access to servers on a private network. This is used with all data centers and all significant deployments, because this is how load balancing works. You didn't think there was just one server at Facebook or Google or Amazon, etc., right? There are tons of servers, and not getting into other systems, but when you first get into a data center, the first thing you're going to hit is some kind of reverse proxy, which is going to then load balance to other servers. It will send your request over to another server. There's other things that can be done too. Authentication, decrypting, or caching. We're going to have another reason for using reverse proxies coming up. What is it? Node.js deployments. References. Node.js is a great server. However, there are certain things it's not so great at. And one of those is serving static content like images, JavaScript files, and such like that. So this is from the Nginx folks, make one of the most popular web servers. But the tips are really good in general, and they explain to you why you'd want to do this. So typically, we never put Node.js out there in a deployment production environment as the first server we hit. We always put another server in front of it. DigitalOcean, here they don't even raise that question. They just tell you, if you're going to do a Node.js deployment, you're going to set up another server in front of it, and you're going to reverse proxy. For the Apache 2 web server, here's instructions on, once again, how to set up a reverse proxy for using that to Node.js. typical applications, or our application in this class that we've been using all along, is this CS-oriented audience response system. Okay, the application, classroom, CSORs. Okay, this application, okay, it's a Node.js application. It's running at classroom.grottonetworking.com. The front end web server is Nginx, or Nginx, however you pronounce it. Okay. How does this get configured? Apache and Nginx servers both have fairly elaborate configuration options. They can do a lot of things. Okay? But let's just understand a little bit about this. Okay. So here, this configuration file, which is a partial configuration file, it basically says, what's the name of your server? Okay. Meaning, what is the domain name of your server? Okay. If you have something that matches this domain name, you are going to send it where? Well, you're going to send it not to look for files in the file system, but you're going to send it over to localhost. You're going to send this to the localhost, yes, and to a particular internal port. Oh, you mean like we've been writing all our Node.js servers in this class, all listening on specific ports on localhost? Yep. You mean people use that in deployment? Yep, because we put another server in front of it. So our Node.js server just listens to an internal port and responds to an internal port. Okay. This is also why our Node.js servers don't have to worry about HTTPS, because that's being handled in front of them. Okay. Now, I'm not even showing you all the HTTPS stuff because that's also helped out by certbot and Let's Encrypt. Okay. But the main idea here is this particular domain, okay, which is one of my subdomains, is listened for by the server. And there's I have a lot of other subdomains running with the server, and they get redirected to other places. All those requests get redirected, okay, to the local host after they've been, okay, not redirected, but proxy to the local host. Okay. What's this other stuff? Well, this is saying that the internal system only needs to deal with HTTP 1.1. Okay, keep it easy. Okay. These other things, okay, particularly these two, permit WebSockets, okay, which is important for the C-source application. Okay. So typical use of reverse proxies, okay. Okay, what else do we need it for? Okay, we need it for, okay, we need it to deploy our Node.js, okay, we need it for development, okay. So we've been developing with React. This would apply if you're developing with Vue or Angular or whatever else, okay. Now, we have a React development server, okay. It rebuilds the React code after we do our code changes. Okay, we have a browser running our React app that's in development. Okay, now the thing is, we have our own app server, our application server. Okay, meaning this is, let's see if we got the picture, the explanation. Okay, we write our own application server to process, to give, to serve, and process data from our web app. Oh. So this guy here is like, whether it's our club or our tour company or whatever, he's taking requests and response, okay? This React development server doesn't know anything about those JSON reaction responses. He just serves up the React app as it changes. Oh, yeah. So he doesn't know how to let us log in to the app, doesn't know how to retrieve data, no. Oh, we have to get to this server, okay? what we need to do, okay, is proxy some of the requests over to the app server, while obviously getting the React app has to come from the React development server. Ooh, okay, okay. So this is what it's going to look like, okay? We have an HTTP request comes through, okay? Returns React app from the slash, okay? Otherwise, forwards HTTP requests over to our server. So I have an application server. Okay, I picked to use a different IP loopback address and port. All you have to do is make sure you have a different port, actually. Okay, this is where the development server is running. Okay, so this is what I mean by proxying those requests over. Okay, if it's just a slash, the React app development server is going to return that. If it's to something else, we want it to forward on to our API, our JSON-based application server. Oh, how do we do this? Okay. Well, we can do proxies with Node.js and Express. Wait a second, Professor. I thought we put proxies in front of Node.js. There's many uses for proxies. And in fact, there is very nice middleware for building proxies with Express. Okay. Really? Yes. Okay. This is great for development and other purposes. Okay. So what does it look like? We're requiring Express, which is our HTTP, our web framework. We're requiring our proxy middleware. Okay. We create our app. Oh, seriously? Okay. Now, first of all, this is a great piece of work. Okay. Many options. Lots of options. Okay. Don't get freaked out. The use is actually fairly simple. Look. Okay. Paths we want to forward to the app server. Okay. So here I have a list of paths, an array of paths I want to forward. App use. These are the paths. Okay. This is a standard Express type thing. Okay. All these paths get sent to this piece of middleware, which is going to forward it on. Okay. So a lot of this work is being done by Express. Okay. It's going to match against these paths. Then this will forward them on. Oh. How do we use this with Parcel? Yeah, we are using Parcel. Okay. Webpack has some proxying built in, so it's just a command option. Here we do a little bit more work. However, we can use a Parcel bundler as middleware? Yes, we can. Okay. So that means we can require our Parcel bundler. For this, we need a local install of Parcel. Okay. Look at this. We use the bundler as middleware. So we get a new bundler. Okay. We tell it where we want it to listen for. Okay. And then we say use. Okay. Now, how do we put this all together? Okay. Thanks to the folks at Stack who posted this at some stuff at Stack Overflow, I cleaned this up a little bit. Okay. So the first thing we do is we're going to require, we're going to require our various pieces of software. Okay. Parcel bundler, Express, and the middleware for proxying. Okay. We create our Express app. Determine what we're going to forward. Okay. Okay. Set up our forwarding. Okay. Okay. Then set up our bundler. Okay. Use the bundler as middleware, so it will service things that aren't handled by the forwarder. And we just start listening. Okay. Pretty cool. So that will allow us, and we'll just run this, okay, as a node program, will allow us to do proxying. And we'll understand what's going on here too. Now, when you're running all this, a couple tips. Okay, You need to run this development proxy with Node.js in a terminal. Okay, okay. You don't need to start Parcel separately. This starts Parcel. You need to run your application server via another terminal. Okay, you got to make sure all your ports and addresses need to be correctly matched. Everything that you put in those files as far as ports and addresses need to match. Okay. Are you getting a bunch of 404s? Not found. Check using your developer panel which URLs are actually being used and which are getting actually sent to the app server. Okay. Console log is your friend, whether on the server or in the browser. Okay. Open up your dev panel and see what on the browser to see where things are going and what kind of returns are happening. Maybe you don't have your all your paths set up. I had a tendency that I would set up a new path but forget to add it to the proxy middleware, or add it to the proxy middleware and forget to restart the proxy middleware. Okay, so proxies used more than you think, and we have multiple uses for them in just our regular development and deployment. Okay, talk to you later.